I haven't played every sport, but I've watched almost all of them, and I just think that there's so many different facets to our sport that make it difficult. Make it such a challenge to begin. There's a lot of great athletes try to pick up a tennis racket and they realize that holy cow, this is not easy. And the way that we do it on the tour and the way that we travel around the globe and jet lags and different surfaces and just things are constantly changing, and it's changing exponentially every single time you take the court. And
Yeah.
so we're not indoors where there's no variables with weather conditions, whether it's cold or hot or humid or windy or whatever. We're not on the same floor as a basketball court either, or a football field. It's changing constantly. There's bad bounces. There's just all kind of things that go on, and so there's just trying to develop all the skills that are required in our sport. Is also something that's such a challenge to try to overcome. And then, by the way, you're doing it on your own out there on the court. You don't
Yes.
have teammates to pass the ball to and someone else to pick up the slack. You gotta do it yourself week in and week out. And you don't have these multi-million-dollar contracts as you're getting started in your career to
Yeah.
take some of the pressure off, because you got to go out and there earn it every single day. There's a lot, but I'm sure there's some arguments from some other athletes around the world with, just take you into the boxing ring with me and let's see how tough
Yeah.
you think that is.